Dear students, today we are going to discuss about biotechnology and its applications. Biotechnology applications includes diagnostics, genetically modified crops for agriculture, food production, waste treatment, bioremediation and energy products. Now we are going to discuss about application of biotechnology in agriculture. So here increasing the food production can be achieved by three options. So these three options are here. First one here, agrochemical based agriculture. Second option are here, organic agriculture. Third option are here, genetically engineering crops based agriculture. Anyhow, three types of agricultures through increasing of the food productions. So all over the countries, including India, is experienced substantial and dramatic increasing in agricultural production, that is called green revolution. What is green revolution? We coined the term of green revolution. We is father of green revolution. Anyhow, increasing the food production can be achieved by three options. First option are here, agrochemical based agriculture. Second option are here, organic agriculture. Third option are here, genetically engineering crops based agricultures. Three types of agricultures are involving to be increasing of the food productions all over the countries, including India, experienced one substantial and dramatic increasing in agricultural production. So now is called green revolution. So in this green revolution, first coined the term William Gott. We coined the term of green revolution, that is William Gott in the year 1968. Okay, now William Gott in the year 1968 coined the term of green revolution. Generally, he is one of the USAID director. So here USAID means United States Agency for International Development. So here William Gott is one of the USAID director. First coined the term of green revolution, who is William Gott. Totally father of green revolution, who is Norman Borlaug. Who is father of green revolution? That is Norman Borlaug. Who is father of Indian green revolution? That is Dr. M.S. Swaminathan. So here, what is green revolution? Who is father of green revolution? That answer over here, substantial and dramatic increasing of in agricultural production, that is called green revolution. All over the worldwide, father of green revolution Norman Borlaug, but father of Indian green revolution, that is Dr. M.S. Swaminathan. So here Dr. M.S. Swaminathan to be says that increasing of food production, at the same time to be reduced usage of chemical fertilizers and pesticides. So based on the principles of biotechnology or genetic engineering process, that would lead to be more of surrounding environment to be agricultural production. That is the importance of Dr. M.S. Swaminathan. By means some plants of the genes are inserted into the another organisms to be make a new plants. To be make a new plants. The gene revolution likely to be developed new plants. These new plants to be produced antibiotic resistant genes and to be avoid some of the harmful insects. To be avoid some of the harmful insects. That is the importance of gene revolution. That is the importance of gene revolution. So anyhow, all over the countries, including India, is seriously expanded to be substantial and dramatic increasing of agriculture production. That is called green revolution. That is called green revolution. Okay, now then after some of the plants, some of the fungus and some of the bacteria and some of the microbes are used to be use these genes to be altering by manipulation. That is called genetically modified organisms. Genetically modified organisms. Okay, now so biotechnology applications include diagnostics, genetically modified crops for agriculture, at the same time production of increasing of food materials, waste treatment, bioremediation and energy production. So here biotechnology to be developed genetically modified organisms. Genetically modified organisms or genetically modified crops are to be developed in their biotechnology process or genetic engineering process. So genetically modified organisms are short from GMO. Okay, now GMO means genetically modified organisms. So how to constructed genetically modified organisms? Some plants, fungus, bacteria and microbes whose these genes can be altered by manipulation. These are called genetically modified organisms. Genetically modified organisms. What is the significance of genetically modified organisms? Genetically modified organisms are having special character features. So these special character features are here. First special character feature are here. Production of high yielding. Production of high yielding. At the same time, increased disease resistance. Increased disease resistance. That is the first significance. So here significance of GMO. First significance of GMO, that is production of high yielding and increasing disease resistance. Second significance are here, make crops more tolerant to abiotic stresses. These crops are having to more tolerant to surrounding environments and some unfavorable conditions to be sustained on these crops. These crops. Third significance are here, BT cotton is pest resistant. So one crop are here, that is BT cotton is always resistant to, is always controlling of pests, is controlling of pests, that is pest resistance. BT cotton to be controlling of pest insects, to be controlling of pest insects, that is BT cotton is pest resistance. By means BT cotton is only killing of the harmful pests or harmful insects. BT cotton is always killing of the harmful pests or harmful insects. That is the importance of BT cotton is pest resistance. And fourth significance are here. So increased efficiency of mineral usage, at the same time which prevents early loss of the fertile soil. That is the importance of GMO. Next fifth significance are here, enhance nutritional value of food materials. Enhance nutritional value of food materials. Some of the food materials are containing rich content of vitamins. That is vitamin A. Okay now. Enhance nutritional value of food material. Some of the crop plots containing well-developed nutrient food materials. That is the importance of vitamin A. So here vitamin A enriched in golden rice. Vitamin A enriched in golden rice. This golden rice is always prevention of blindness. That is the importance of vitamin A. So here vitamin A is obtained from golden rice. This golden rice of vitamin A is always prevent in the blindness. This is the significance of GMO or genetically modified organisms. And another significance are here Bt toxin genes from Bacillus thuringiensis. Bacillus thuringiensis is one of the bacteria. So this bacteria to be produced Bt genes. So these genes are having to very harmful. By means Bt genes will be produced harmful toxins. That is the importance of Bacillus thuringiensis. Bt means B for Bacillus, T for thuringiensis. Okay now. So the Bacillus thuringiensis bacteria to be produced Bt genes. These genes are having harmful toxins. Okay now. Bt toxin genes from Bacillus thuringiensis after will be cloned and to be created one biopesticide. So what is the importance of biopesticides? So here biopesticides is also to be increasing of the resistance and to be prevent certain insects. That is the importance of biopesticides. Okay now, Bt toxin genes from Bacillus thuringiensis. These Bacillus thuringiensis were cloned and to be created one biopesticides. This biopesticides is always increased resistance power. Then after to be killing of the some harmful insects is always to be protect of the some cropping plants. Biopesticides is always to be protect of the some economically cropping plants and after killing of the insects. Those biopesticides plants are here Bt cotton, Bt potato, Bt tomato, Bt brinjal, Beta corn and soya bean. These are the Bt plants are here. Okay now. Biopesticides is always increasing of the resistance power. Then after to be killing of the some harmful insects. That is the importance of biopesticides. For example, Bt cotton, Bt brinjal, Bt corn, Bt potato, Bt tomato and also soya bean. Okay, thank you. Dear students, today we are going to discuss about Bt cotton. Bt cotton is one of the genetically modified crops. All genetically modified crops based on the basic principles of biotechnology or genetic engineering process. Those genetically modified crops are here. That is genetically modified organisms are here. Especially Bt cotton, Bt brinjal, BT potato, BT tomato, BT rice and soya bean. But here the most important genetically modified crop, that is BT cotton. That is BT cotton. Okay now. So here BT means Bacillus thuringiensis. Bacillus thuringiensis is one of the bacteria. This bacteria is always to be produced toxins. Why? Because this Bacillus thuringiensis are having two toxin genes. That is BT toxin genes. BT toxin genes. Okay now. This Bacillus thuringiensis bacteria to be produced some harmful toxin genes. These some harmful toxin genes to be killing of the some insects. Such as Lepidopterans, Coleopterans, Dipterans. These all are insects to be die. Okay now. Lepidopterans such as tobacco budworms and armyworms. Coleopterans such as beetles. Dipterans such as flies and mosquitoes. So these all are to be die. Why? Because Bacillus thuringiensis bacteria to be produced very harmful toxins. So these harmful toxins containing such bacteria, such named as toxin genes. So in this toxin genes to be inserted some of the useful cropping plants such as cotton, corn, potato, tomato, brinjal and soya bean. Okay now. Some harmful toxin genes are inserted or incorporated into the some useful economically cropping plants. First of all, to be incorporated into the cotton plant, that is named BT cotton. Okay now. So in this BT cotton are infected by some of the harmful insects such as Lepidopterans, Coleopterans and Dipterans. These groups of insect organisms to be infected by cotton plant. In this time, the cotton plant to be produced some harmful toxin genes. Then will be suddenly killing of the both are insects. Okay now. So the process of BT cotton. So here Bacillus thuringiensis first of all to be produced some inactive proteins. These inactive proteins then after to be modified active proteins. Okay now. Bacillus thuringiensis already consists of BT cotton plant. In this Bacillus thuringiensis to be produced some proteins. These proteins first to be inactive. So these proteins to be eating of the some insects. Okay now. First now Bacillus thuringiensis bacteria to be produced some proteins. These proteins first to be inactive. Inactive proteins to be eating of the some insects, some group of insects. Okay now. Then after these inactive proteins after some time to be active. Why? Because due to alkaline pH of the gut. In this time the active protein to be changed to solubilized crystals. That is cry proteins. Cry means crystals. That is of the cotton food material. So in this time, first binding the proteins are inactive, then after some time the inactive proteins to be converted to active proteins. Why? Because this food material to be reach of the gut, to be reach of the gut, in this time to be gut to be release alkaline pH, to be release alkaline pH ultimately. So in these active proteins to be change of the solubilized crystals, to be change of the solubilized crystals, that is cryoproteins. Okay, now in this cryoproteins again will be reach up to midgut of the epithelial cell. Then after to be reach midgut of the epithelial cell. So in this time immediately the epithelial cells are swelling and lysis, swelling and lysis. Then after to be die of the insects, to be die of the insects. This is a process of beating cotton. First are here Bt bacteria to be release some inactive proteins. These inactive proteins then after activated. Why? Because these inactive proteins to be reach gut of the insect. So in this gut to be release alkaline pH. So in this time the proteins are active. These active proteins to be changed solubilized crystals, solubilized crystals. So now these proteins are named as cryoproteins, cryoproteins. So in these cryoproteins to be reach midgut of the epithelial cells. Okay, now so these epithelial cells suddenly it will be swelling and lysis. Then after so many harmful insects are dying. So many harmful insects are dying. This is the importance of beating cotton. So here the proteins encoded by the genes named cry. The proteins encoded by the genes named cry. By means Bt cotton are having toxin genes, at the same time active proteins to be solubilized crystals. So hence cryoproteins, these toxin genes, these cryoproteins named as short form cry, CRY, cry. Okay, right? Okay, here. So these cryogenes are here mainly three. So first cryogene are here, cry first AC, second cryogene are here, cry second AB. So both two cryogenes are control is always cotton bollworms, cotton bollworms. And another cryogenes, that is cry first AB, control is always corn borer, control is always corn borer. Okay, now Bt organism to be produced crystals like of proteins. These crystals like of proteins control to be cotton plants and corn plants, especially crystal first AC, crystal second AB control the cotton bollworms, and crystal first AB control the corn borer, corn borer. This is the importance of beating cotton. This is the importance of beating cotton. This question is very important in the IPE pattern. So 4 marks question. 4 marks question are here, beating cotton. So this question is very important in the IPE pattern. This is the importance of beating cotton. Once again, Bt means Bacillus thuringiensis. This is one of the bacteria. This bacteria is very harmful. Is always produced toxin genes and crystal like structures of proteins. These toxin genes and crystal like of proteins to be killing of the some harmful insects. Finally, this plant is always protect of the some harmful insects. That is the genetically modified crops. This is one of the genetically modified crops. Okay, now thank you. Dear students, discuss about pest resistant plants. Already in previous classes we will discuss about some genetically modified crops or some genetically modified organisms. The best examples are here BT cotton. The best examples are here BT cotton. Generally, BT toxin genes were isolated from one bacteria, that is Bacillus thuringiensis bacteria. So this Bacillus thuringiensis bacteria and incorporated into several economically cropping plants such as cotton, rice, potato, tomato, brinjal, corn and soybean. So by means the Bacillus thuringiensis bacteria already inserted of the BT toxin genes in a certain stage of the seeds. So hence in those of plants to be produced some harmful protein toxin crystals. These protein toxin crystals to be kill some harmful insects. That is importance of BT cotton. And also this BT is always to be provide resistance in those of plants to be certain insects. This is the importance of one genetically modified crops such as BT cotton. So not only Bacillus thuringiensis bacteria are having to cotton and also are having to brinjal plant, tomato plant, potato plant, rice plant as well as corn plant and also soybean plants. So all those are plants to be provide resistance to be certain harmful insects. So most of BT toxins are having insect of specific groups. Those insect of specific groups such as Leptopterans, Coleopterans, Dipterans. This is one example for genetically modified crops or genetically modified organisms. Okay, now today we are going to discuss about another example for genetically modified crops or genetically modified organisms, that is pest resistant plants. Okay, now dear students, nematoda is one of the parasite, that is Melodygani incognatia. This is a one nematoda parasite. The nematoda parasite in Melodygani incognatia is always infect the tobacco plant roots. Tobacco plants are economically very useful to be industrial level, to be making a cigarettes and bidis and suttas. So in this time, one of the nematoda parasite to be infect tobacco root plants. The nematoda name Melodygani incognatia. So in this time, what happened? So it is always to be a great reducing in the yield. So tobacco production is always decreasing of the tobacco production. That is a great reduction in the yielding. That is the importance of Melodygani incognatia. So in this time, a strategy adapted to the prevention of infestation, that is RNAi, that is RNA interference. By means the nematoda parasite of Melodygani incognatia is always infected tobacco root plants. In this time to be released one infestance, that is RNAi, that means RNA interference. So here what is the importance of RNAi? So RNA, one type of nucleic acid, nucleic acids are of two types. One is DNA, second one is RNA. DNA to be act of genetic material in almost of all living organisms. RNA is also to be act of genetic material only few viral organisms. 90% to be act of protein synthesis. But here, so the Nematoda parasite of Meloideogene incarnacea to be released RNAi. To be released RNAi. This RNAi directly infect to the tobacco root plants. So suddenly to be tobacco plant growth is suddenly to be decreased. At the same time, a great reduced to be yielding. This is the importance of RNAi. Generally, RNAi are present in all eukaryotic organisms as a meaning of cellular defense. As a meaning of cellular defense. Total controlling of the cellular metabolic activity in their RNAi. In their RNAi. Generally, most of the viral organisms are having to RNA. This is a harmful genetic material. At the same time, including RNAi, especially Meloideogene incarnacea nematoda. So this nematoda are having RNAi. Okay now, this RNAi are present in all eukaryotic organisms as a meaning of cellular defense. What is the method of RNAi? What is the method of RNAi? So here RNAi is the method to be is always a silencing specific sequence of a mRNA molecules. A silencing specific sequence of a mRNA molecules. That is the RNAi method. Generally, RNAi is present in all eukaryotic organisms as a meaning of cellular defense. This RNAi is method. So is always prevention of the silencing a specific mRNA molecule. Silencing a specific mRNA molecule. What is the meaning of silencing? So here in this process, that is RNAi process, to be produced one complementary RNA. At the same time, to be prevent another mRNA molecule. Another mRNA molecule that is part of be form a translator. That part be to be form a translator. That is silencing. That is silencing. Okay now, in this process, first will be complementary RNA to be produced. Then after to be prevent another mRNA molecule. Then will be produced to be part a form of translations. That is silencing. So in this situation, so the prevention of result to be do not expression of the genetic sequences. Do not expression of the genetic sequences. By means, this process result mainly in the prevention of not expressed in the genetic sequences. Okay now. So however, in this time, so the complementary RNA molecule to be form a and then after to be infection by a virus at the RNA genome. Then after this RNA genome, then will be replicated through RNA. is using of the Agrobacterium tumefaciens. That is using to the Agrobacterium tumefaciens. Generally, in their biotechnology process, in their genetic engineering process, any organism of DNA to be incorporated into the Helicobacter bacteria cell of plasmid. But especially, so plant DNAs are inserted into the one Agrobacterium tumefaciens bacteria. Why? Because Agrobacterium tumefaciens containing a tDNA material. This tDNA material will be produced to TA plasmid. TA plasmid. This TA plasmid is always prevent of the tumors. Is always prevent of the tumors. At the same time, nematoda were specific genes to be introduced into the one host plant using the Agrobacterium tumefaciens. Using the Agrobacterium tumefaciens. So this is a one type of vector or one type of agent. So in this time, okay, now in this time, two types of RNAs will be produced in the host plant. In the host plant, the host plant are here Agrobacterium tumefaciens. Okay, clear? Bt toxin genes were isolated from Bacillus thuringiensis and incorporated into the certain several cropping plants such as Bt cotton, Bt potato. Same as this one, nematoda toxin genes were nematoda toxin genes. Okay, now nematoda toxin genes are nematoda specific genes. Nematoda toxin genes or nematoda specific genes are introduced into the one host plant. The host plant are using Agrobacterium tumefaciens. This is a one type of vector. This is a one type of agent. So in this Agrobacterium tumefaciens to be produced both sense and antisense RNAs. Both sense and antisense RNAs in the host plant. In the host plant. By means, as a result, to be making a one double stranded RNA. To be making a one double stranded RNA. By means, to be having one complementary two pairing. One complementary two pairing both sense and antisense RNAs. Both sense and antisense RNAs. These RNAs to be prevent a nematoda parasite. To be avoid a nematoda parasite. That is the importance of Agrobacterium tumefaciens. By meaning, Agrobacterium tumefaciens to be used as vector or agent in plant cells. This Agrobacterium tumefaciens to be produced sense RNA molecules and antisense RNA molecules. These two types of RNA molecules, to be form a one double stranded RNA, single of double stranded DNA. Okay, here this is a sense RNA, this is a antisense RNA. This is a sense RNA and antisense RNA. Agrobacterium tumefaciens to be produced two types of RNAs. One is sense RNA, second one is antisense RNA to be making a one double stranded RNA. This double stranded RNA is always initiated to RNAi. This double stranded RNA by means both sense and antisense RNAs is always initiated RNAi. By means totally invade a nematoda parasite. By means parasite could be not surveying of the host transgenic plants, is always expressing of the silencing RNA. Finally, the transgenic host plant therefore do itself and then after to be totally avoid the nematoda parasite. Totally be avoid nematoda parasite. This is correlation between nematoda parasite and tobacco root plants. Bt cotton, the correlation between bacteria and some economically several cropping plants. And the second correlation, nematoda parasite, that is Melodogeny incarnatia, between of the tobacco root plants. But nematoda melodogeny is always infected the tobacco root plants. In this time to be using of one vector, that is Agrobacterium tumefaciens. This vector to be protect a tobacco root plants, and suddenly to be killing of the nematoda parasites. This is the importance of genetically modified crops or genetically modified organisms. So here genetically modified crops and genetically modified organisms, the best examples are here. Very economically important crop plants such as Bt cotton and also tobacco plants, that is Bt cotton and that is pest resistant plants. Okay, now Bt means Bacillus thuringiensis bacteria. Okay, now next nematoda parasite, that is Melodogeny incarnatia, is always infect tobacco root plants. Okay, now to be efficiency one factor, that is RNAi. RNAi means RNA interference. Thank you. Dear students, today we are going to discuss about other applications in biotechnology. So here already previous classes we will discuss about applications in biotechnology for agriculture. That means biotechnology applications in agriculture, that is Bt cotton and pest resistant plants. Now we are going to discuss about other applications in biotechnology. So here clone DNAs, generally recombinant DNA to be containing one host organism such as Escherichia coli host organism containing one RNA DNA molecule. This RNA DNA molecule to be replicated several times to be produced several recombinant DNA molecules. So in their situation there is no involvement of any type of reproduction. Only DNA molecules will be replicated so many times, will be produced several types of DNA molecules. These DNA molecules are named as cloned DNAs. Okay, now, so here cloned DNAs are utilized in the commercially synthesized to be hormones such as insulin hormone, interferons and vaccines. Okay, now cloned DNAs are utilized in the synthesis of commercially to be produced hormones such as like insulin hormone, interferons and vaccines. This is one of the application. Next here some microorganisms are utilized and exponent of the cells to be produced so many vitamins, antibiotics and other commercially chemicals at a low cost. That is the one application. And next application are here insulin. This is very important insulin hormone nowadays. Okay, now insulin was earlier produced into pancreas of started cows and pigs. So nowadays to be utilized insulin injections mainly in diabetes patients. So diabetes patients are to be decreasing of the insulin levels. So in this time, to be increasing of the insulin hormones, to be utilizing one of the Escherichia coli bacteria. This Escherichia coli bacteria to be produced several insulin hormone genes. These insulin hormone genes then after to be transferred in human being body. That is known as insulin hormone. Okay now. So here insulin was earlier produced into pancreas of slaughtered cows and pigs. So several insulin hormones to be observed. Pancreas of slaughtered cows and pigs. So in this type of insulin hormones will be produced one American company, that is Eli Lilly, an American company. The company name are here Eli Lilly in the year 1963. Eli Lilly in the year 1963. This is an American company to be identified 2 DNA sequences of human insulin hormone. 2 DNA sequences of human insulin hormones. These 2 DNA sequences of human insulin hormone then will be transferred to Escherichia coli bacteria. After some time, this Escherichia coli bacteria to be produced 2 chains of human insulin. One is chain A human insulin, another one is chain B human insulin. These 2 types of human insulin hormones will be produced separately and thereafter conjoined collectively referred to as disulfide bonds. These disulfide bonds are named as human insulin. So nowadays to be human insulin hormone we made one of the bacteria, that is Escherichia coli bacteria. Okay now. Insulin was earlier produced into pancreas of slaughtered cows and pigs. By means insulin hormones is also available in cows and pigs, pancreas of cows and pigs. One company will be produced insulin hormone. The company name Eli Lilly, an American company, to be identify one specific DNA sequence. This specific DNA sequence, that is 2 DNA sequences, to be introduced into the Escherichia coli bacteria. This Escherichia coli bacteria to be produced 2 chains of human insulins will be produced separately. One is chain A, another one is chain B. Both separately, after some time to be combined to be form one disulfide bond. That is disulfide bond similar of human insulin. So nowadays, this human insulin to be made of Escherichia coli bacteria. Very, very economically useful in Escherichia coli bacteria to human beings. Why? Because high rich amount of insulin hormone will be produced to Escherichia coli bacteria. Then after to be prepared injections. That is insulin injections. This insulin injection to be avoid diabetes. Okay now. Another application are here gene therapy. Gene therapy is a corrective therapy to treated hereditary diseases. How to solve of hereditary diseases? So here in this time, gene therapy involves only incorporated one normal gene to be person cells and tissues and embryos, then after to be decreasing of the disease. That is the importance of gene therapy. Gene therapy is one of the corrective therapy to treat hereditary diseases. Hereditary diseases is followed by gene therapy. So in this time, gene therapy is always involves incorporated one normal gene that person's cells, tissues and embryos, then after to be avoided in this disease. In this disease, that is gene therapy. That is gene therapy. These are the some applications of biotechnology. And next we are going to molecular diagnosis. Molecular diagnosis. So nowadays to be followed by conventional method of diagnosis. This conventional method of diagnosis to be not increasing of the diseases and symptoms. Diseases and symptoms. Okay, now. So molecular diagnosis. So the conventional method of diagnosis to be not solved by the problems and also not easily identify symptoms and diseases. Symptoms and diseases. So in this time to be utilized biotechnology, mainly utilized some of the techniques, some of the useful techniques such as recombinant DNA technology and PCR, that is polymerase chain reaction, and ELISA, enzyme linked immunosorbent assay, and DNA fingerprinting. So these techniques are used and easily solved the diagnosis problems. Easily solved the early diagnosis problem. Okay, now. So here the conventional methods are here. The conventional methods are here. For example, urine test and serum test. So these tests are not will be directly appearing of the symptoms and disease characters. Disease characters to be longer period of the time. To be longer period of the time. But nowadays to be developed recombinant DNA technology or biotechnology process to be developed earlier diagnosis techniques. Earlier diagnosis techniques. Those earlier diagnosis techniques are here PCR, ELISA and DNA fingerprinting. PCR, ELISA, DNA fingerprinting. Okay, now dear students, PCR means polymerase chain reaction. PCR means polymerase chain reaction. So lower concentration of bacteria or viruses are infected the persons of the cell. So in this time to be detected a DNA sequences through the polymerase chain reaction. Okay, now. So some persons body present in the lower concentration of bacteria and viruses. So in this time to be easily identified through the polymerase chain reaction. By means PCR uses detected HIV virus and suspected AIDS patients. This is the main principles of PCR. PCR is always using detected HIV virus as in suspected AIDS patients. At the same time, detected genome sequences and suspected cancer cells. This is the importance of PCR cycle, polymerase chain reaction. So gene amplification of interesting through the PCR cycle. PCR cycle having 3 steps. One is denaturation, second one is annealing, third one is extension of primers. Already previous classes we will be discussed about briefly PCR cycle. Second one here ELISA, that is E for enzyme, L for linked, I for immuno, S for sorbent, A for assay. That is enzyme linked immunosorbent assay. Enzyme linked immunosorbent assay. So this ELISA is always based on the principles of antigen and antibody interaction. Antigen and antibody interaction. Okay now, dear students, first one is PCR. That is polymerase chain reaction is always using detected HIV viruses and suspected in AIDS patients. At the same time, detected mutation will be genes and suspected cancer cells. This is the importance of PCR. And ELISA, enzyme linked immunosorbent assay. This ELISA based on the principles of antigen antibody interaction. By means, infector one pathogen can be easily identify the antigen and antibody. Then will be sometime against antibody will be produced to be pathogen. Will be produced to be pathogen. That is antigen antibody interaction. Okay now, antigen antibody interaction by means infection A pathogen can be lead to more A antigen by a antibody, then will be against release of pathogen diseases. Then will be against release of pathogen diseases. That is the importance of ELISA. Next one here, DNA fingerprinting. So gene amplification is also possible in DNA fingerprinting. So DNA fingerprinting is one of the pattern of PCR cycle. DNA fingerprinting is one of the pattern of PCR cycle, and also gene amplification is one of the DNA fingerprinting. Gene amplification is one of the DNA fingerprinting. What are the using of DNA fingerprinting? So DNA fingerprinting nowadays to be identified two individuals by means that the same identified DNAs to be easily identified. Within the help of forensic science lab. So nowadays to be easily identified, checking of the criminals, and also useful in parentage distribution, unknown parentage distributions. That is the importance of DNA fingerprinting. DNA fingerprinting is one of the technique. So to be identified two individuals, but the same smaller DNA fragments. So through the gel electrophoresis, at the same time to be utilized one scientific lab, that is forensic scientific lab. This forensic scientific lab is always using in the searching of criminals and unknown parentage distributes. This is the importance of DNA fingerprinting. So gene amplification is one of the important of DNA fingerprinting. DNA fingerprinting is one of the pattern of gene cloning. So this is a briefly discuss about molecular diagnosis and other applications in biotechnology. Okay now, thank you. Dear students, today we are going to discuss about transgenic plants. First we are going to discuss about what is the meaning of transgenic plants. Okay now, transgenic plants means the plants with desirable characters creating through gene transfer methods, that is called transgenic plants. Although several methods have been identified, anyhow to be introduced the clone genes into the plant cells. Okay now, the TA plasmid of Agrobacterium tumefaciens so has been widely used for the more efficiency of vector in transgenic plants. So here useful vector in plants, that is Agrobacterium tumefaciens. Useful vector in animal organism, that is Escherichia coli bacteria. Plant vector are here Agrobacterium tumefaciens bacteria. Animal vector are here Escherichia coli bacteria. Escherichia coli bacteria. So these two vectors are used as vector or agent in recombinant DNA technology or biotechnology process. Okay, now, so what are the list out beneficial aspects of transgenic plants? What are the uses of transgenic plants in their agriculture and essential to human life? Okay, here. So first one we have transgenic crop plants having resistance to pathogens and pests. This is the first beneficial aspects. Second beneficial aspects are here transgenic plants suitable for food processing technology. Okay, now third beneficial aspects are here transgenic plants with nutritional value material. Fourth beneficial aspects are here transgenic plants useful for seed hybrid production. Fifth beneficial aspects are here transgenic plants tolerate to abiotic stresses. Abiotic stresses. These are the some list of the beneficial aspects of transgenic plants. Okay, students. So first we are going to discuss about first beneficial aspects of transgenic plants. That is transgenic crop plants having resistance to pathogens and pests. So several examples are here. So first examples are here papaya plant. Papaya plant infected by some viral organisms. So in those of time to be resistant to pathogen, that is papaya ring spot virus. Papaya is resistant to papaya ring spot virus. And second one here BT cotton. So BT cotton infected by several harmful insects. So in those of time BT cotton is resistant to insects. Okay, now third one here third example are here tomato. Tomato is infected by some of the harmful bacteria. So tomato is resistant to one bacterial pathogen, that is called Pseudomonas. Pseudomonas. So here tomato is resistant to one bacterial pathogen, that is Pseudomonas. Next one here potato. Potato is infected by some of the fungal organisms. So in those of time, so potato is resistant to one fungal pathogen, that is Phytophthora. That is Phytophthora. Anyhow, papaya is resistant to papaya ring spot virus. BT cotton is resistant to some harmful insects. Tomato is resistant to one bacterial pathogen, that is Pseudomonas. Potato is resistant to one fungal pathogen, that is Phytophthora. So this is a first beneficial aspects of transgenic plants. Especially some of the plants are here papaya, cotton, tomato and potato. So these are very economically useful cropping plants. So these plants are nowadays to be called GM crops, genetically modified crops or genetically modified organisms. Okay, now dear students, second we are going to discuss about transgenic plants suitable for food processing technology. Okay, now so the tomato resistant to, that is flavor saver. So the tomato is resistant to flavor saver. By means flavor saver is one type of the tomato. Flavor saver is one type of tomato. Okay, now so tomato is resistant to flavor saver, that is grease resistant. That is grease resistant. By means so suitable for storage and develop due to so long period of shelf life. That Okay, now flavor savor tomato. Flavor savor tomato is always, okay, now flavor savor tomato is always resistant to breeze. So that is breeze resistance. So breeze resistance means suitable for storage and delaying for the ripening, and longer period of the shelf life, that is breeze resistance. This tomato containing well developed food materials, okay. Now third transgenic aspects are here. Transgenic plants with nutritional value material, okay. Now golden rice, okay. Now golden rice is obtained from Taipei. So this is very economically useful. Basmati variety of rice and also as well as golden rice. So these are produced from genetic engineering process or biotechnology process or recombinant DNA technology process. One is golden rice, second one is basmati variety of rice. Basmati variety of rice and golden rice, both rices are developed from the recombinant DNA technology process or genetic engineering process. Okay, now so in this golden rice is obtained from Taipei. Golden rice is obtained from Taipei. Why? Because golden rice is well developed Taipei. Golden rice is well developed Taipei. So here golden rice is obtained from Taipei. This Taipei containing which content of vitamin A? So this vitamin A are clearly the prevent of blindness. That is the importance of golden rice. Okay, now golden rice is obtained from Taipei. This Taipei containing which content of vitamin A? Generally vitamin A source in carrot. So this vitamin A is also sources of golden rice. This golden rice will be developed from genetic engineering process or biotechnology process. This vitamin A is always prevent of blindness. Okay, now fourth transgenic plants aspects are here. Transgenic plants useful for seed hybrid production. Okay, now in generally male sterile the Brassica rufus will be produced, but here so in this male sterile of Brassica rufus, so the facing of one problem that is normal emasculation. Emasculation means one flower containing male flower and female flower, that is containing anoecium and gynoecium. But in this flower to be removal of anther, or to be removal of male sex organ, that is called emasculation. So in this time to be reduced for seed hybrid production, that is the importance of Brassica rufus. Okay, now male sterile plants of Brassica rufus will be produced, and this facing of one problem, that is normal emasculation by means removal of anther. In this time reduce it to be seed hybrid production. So last biofacial aspects of transgenic plants, that is transgenic plants tolerant to abiotic stresses. Such as climate, temperature, salt, heat, so as well as droughts, and also chemicals. These are the abiotic stresses. So here transgenic plants tolerant to abiotic stresses. So those abiotic stresses causes chemicals, cold, heat, pH, temperature, and drought conditions. So given the example for plants are here basmati variety of rice is developed. IARA, Indian Agriculture Research Institute, to be included Dr. M.S. Swaminathan as well as Norman Borlaug. So that is the importance of our here, short duration and to be produced high yielding of cropping plants, to be produced high yielding, that is short lifespan or short duration. Basmati variety of rice is short duration, so to be produced high yielding crop production, that is the importance of basmati variety of rice. Next one here, Roundup Ready soybean. So Roundup Ready soybean is herbicide tolerance. These are the list out beneficial aspects of transgenic plants. In those of transgenic plants, the best vector or the best agent, that is Ti plasmid of Agrobacterium tumefaciens. In animal organisms or human being organisms, the best recombinant vector, that is Escherichia coli. In plant organisms, the best vector in recombinant DNA technology process, that is Agrobacterium tumefaciens. Okay, now thank you. Dear students, today we are going to discuss about biosafety and ethical issues. So here, biosafety are concerned with some genetically modified crops. These genetically modified crops are here. There is a fear of transferring toxins and allergies into the human being cells and animal cells as in side effects. Second one here, they risk to be changing of the nutritional value food materials. Third one here, they have a cause of the resistance to invalid biodiversity. So fourth one are here. So there is a risk of gene population, and thereafter to be concerned with the other wild species, by means the new genes are transferred into the another host organism to become a produced well developed semi-dwarf plants. These plants can be easily fast growing than the another cropping plants. Next concerned are here. So they change above the natural evolutionary pattern. They be change national evolutionary pattern. That is the nutritional, all types of organisms to be can be produced. The important nutrition mechanisms are here. So these are the some considered to be genetically modified crops or genetically modified organisms. However, the India government to be recognize one abbreviation, that is GEAC. The Indian government to be recognize one organization. So the organization abbreviation that is here GEAC. So GEAC means Genetically Engineering Approval Committee. Okay, now dear students, what is GEAC? What are its objective? What's are its objective? So here GEAC means Genetically Engineering Approval Committee. So in this GEAC is always recognizes a GM research work and it provides a GM organisms to be public service. That is the importance of GEAC. By means GEAC is always observed to be research field of GM organisms, and it's provide to be GM organisms how to utilize it in human welfare. In human welfare, that is the meaning of GEAC. So in ancient days, approximately 2 lakhs of variety of rice in India alone. So rice is mainly important of food grain in India. So totally thousands of years ago, the Asias to be Indian Asias to be agricultural history. So to be ancient days, thousands of years ago, the rice will be developed in the Asia's countries of especially Indian history. So totally, how many total variety of rices are here? 2 lakhs variety of rices are here. At the same time, so in ancient times, to be is also identified 27 variety of basmati rice. 27 variety of basmati rice. Before the 1997 is also ancient times. India is also to be growing up the basmati variety of rice, but not identified to be Indian countries peoples. What are the uses of basmati rice? So basmati rice is credit for the normal rice. Okay, here. So then after in the year 1997, United States of America to be got a patent in the basmati variety of rice. Then after to be added some of the flavors, and then after to be produced one basmati variety of rice. One basmati variety of rice. So in this basmati variety of rice, the USA to be got patent in India in the year 1997. In the year 1997. Generally, in those of times, basmati variety of rice easily grown of India, but India farmers are not identified in the variety of basmati rice. But in the 1997, to be got patent provisions, to be got patent credited to be ESA. Then after normal variety of rice to be hybridized into the semi-dwarf variety of rice. Semi-dwarf variety of rice. Okay, now that is the importance of basmati variety of rice. Generally, basmati variety of rice is a short duration and to be produced high yielding resistance to rice. High yielding resistance to rice. That is the importance of basmati variety of rice. Not only basmati variety of rice, and also some of the Indian traditional medicinal herbal plants are also to be patent. That is turmeric and neem. That is turmeric and neem. In the year 1997, the USA company to be recognized got patent rights as well as basmati rice and also Indian traditional herbal medicines such as turmeric and neem. So those plants are usually grown also in USA countries. One is basmati variety of rice, another one is turmeric and neem. So those plants will be grown in Indian farmers. So these are the more economically important useful cropping plants. One is basmati variety of rice as well as turmeric and also neem plants. That is the importance of biosafety and ethical issues. Okay now. So dear students, next we are going to biopiracy. So in their biotechnology process or recombinant DNA technology process to be produced several genetically modified crops or several genetically modified organisms. So in India is the best country to be worldwide, but some countries are having to poor biodiversity but developed very richly. So but India is also well developed biodiversity. So in this time to the use of bioresources by multinational companies and other organizations without paper authorization from the countries and the people concerned without compulsory payment. That is called biopiracy. That is called biopiracy. Okay now, what is the meaning of biopiracy? In generally, some countries are having well developed, but biodiversity is poorly developed. So in this time, so these countries to be dependent upon to well developed biodiversity countries, well developed biodiversity countries. So in this time to be followed by one principle, that is called biopiracy. Biopiracy. Okay now. So biopiracy means, so biopiracy is one of the term. Biopiracy is one of the term to the use of bioresources. To the use of bioresources by multinational companies. By multinational companies. So bioresources such as several vitamins, several antibiotics, several antibodies, and several transgenic plants. Wheat plants, rice plants, tomato plants, potato plants. So these are the bioresources. Okay now, to the use of bioresources by multinational companies and other organizations without paper authorization. Without paper authorization from the countries and people concerned without compulsory payment. Compulsory payment, that is called biopiracy. That is called biopiracy.